Believe Land Media here with Emma McCartney from Chardon Volleyball. You're going into your senior season. You just committed to Northern Illinois for volleyball. Just tell me what it's like to start the season with a commitment on your back.
It's definitely, it puts a lot of pressure on, especially because now people look more like they'll look up to me more as a leader, like always, because they're like, oh, she's going D1. And other teams are gonna be like, look, that outside's definitely gonna be their go-to, like their mic, as one would say. And so it just puts a lot more pressure, but I feel like I'm used to the pressure, so it's kind of like relieving that people like are like, they're looking at me like as the leader, like they have been for the few years, and like now that I have a commitment, it's like all that leadership is finally paid off, and like now they like respect me even more. Like they respected me like last year, but I didn't have a commitment, so they're like, oh, like where's she gonna go, like blah blah blah, like, and it's just like kind of relieving. And I think like it just feels good to know that all the hard work's paid off, and that all like the teamwork that my friends and all their like support like finally paid off, and that I think because we have so many good players, and now it shows like we're an even better team because there's a scholarship, a committed player. It's like, oh, like so they're like legit, like any team we be legit, but like when there's always like when there's a commitment, like everybody knows, and that it's like it puts even more pressure on them, and then they're like, oh my god, like we have to worry about her, like because it's like, oh, she's like committed, so it's like different. It puts more pressure on it. Like just feels good that we have like the upper hand, even if like sometimes we don't.
So you talk about being a leader. As a leader for this season, what kind of mentality or message do you want to leave behind for everybody else after you?
I want like people to remember that even like a 5'11" like girl can, especially on the outside where you want like those 6-footers, like even like a small like outside can go D1, like especially like, in the MAC. It's not like some like really small D1, it's like a medium size, and it's like anybody can like reach it. And that like every day, like even like school season is just as important, because like colleges are going to like want to watch you in your school season. Like JO is very important, but I just want to leave behind that every like practice and every game matters, because like even some of my college coaches, like they're like, oh, like send us some of your like high school videos. It's like, oh, like if you don't come from like a very well-known school for volleyball, it's like kind of like it's intimidating, because you don't want them to see like a bad game, even though because JO is like a whole different level. And I just think that I want to leave behind the message that like anybody can become a leader and anybody can make it as long as you put the work in, and you should never be afraid to push yourself because of your height or from like your like small town like volleyball team.
And what are you looking forward to most about starting your senior season?
I'm looking forward to like being a senior is like totally different, because now more people are gonna look up to you. Like people looked up to me for like just because I had like the skill level, but now that I'm a senior, like even more people are gonna look up to you, especially on the other team, like or my other seniors. Like everybody feels like that pressure, but I feel like we're actually like go pretty far this season. I'm really excited because now that everybody's senior, they have like that upper, like they have that confidence because they're an upperclassman, and I'm really excited for them to like truly like show like that our like my class can take this team really far, because I believe that this team is going to put the work in to go farther than regional semis.
Thank you, guys. Cameron Palmer, Believe Land Media here with Skylar Toth from Chardon Volleyball. Going into your senior year, you got called up as a sophomore to fill some shoes, and you played full-time last year. Tell me what you've learned and how it's helping you for this year.
I think the biggest thing I learned this year, or the past 3 years, is that not everything is so serious. I feel like, especially my sophomore year when I kind of filled in for one of the girls when she got hurt, I got down on myself every time I did something wrong, because I was like scared that everyone was blaming me and stuff. And last year I had a full role on varsity, and I still had that a little bit, but also I knew that I was like one of the leaders, and so I couldn't get down on myself. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm taking into this year, because it's really gonna help me like persevere and help the team not get down when I'm also down.
What are your personal and team goals for the year as you're moving into the senior year?
Personal goals, I would say I want to be a leader on the court, and I don't, again, going back to the last thing, I want to be a leader on the court, and I don't want to get down on myself. And that was one of the biggest things that has always been an issue on myself, and like not giving up on myself when I like keep making the same mistake, and also looking to my teammates for that support if I ever need it, and also giving them support if they need it.
So my last question is, what is your mentality going into the season?
I would say engage and compete those are some of our like values, and respect also. But I think like every practice we need to like be focused and just everybody wants to get better, and we want to fight so that we are the best team, and because we want to achieve all of our goals, like win the WRC, go farther in playoffs, and all that stuff. So yeah.
Thank you. Cameron Palmer, Believe I'm here with Grace Legan from Chardon Volleyball. You're going into your senior year. Just kind of tell me what winning the WRC was last year, what it was like last year, and what it's going to take to win it this year.
It felt amazing to win the WRC. We definitely worked really hard last year, and it was different because I was injured, but I believed in my team. And then for this year, I think it's all about our work ethic during practice, like having a lot of hustle and just a lot of effort through practice.
You mentioned being injured last year. What's it like coming back off an injury to hopefully play a full season healthy?
It's just kind of coming back and like making sure I have that same muscle memory, but you know, my muscle's all good, so.
And last question, just kind of tell me what your personal mentality is. Obviously coming off an injury, it can be hard to come back. What is your mentality for yourself this season?
My mentality is just to come back and work as hard as I can because it's my last year playing, and I believe that this team could go far this year.
Thank you. Cameron Palmer, Believe Land Media here with Alison Fisher, head coach of Chardon Volleyball. You guys won the WRC last year. Just kind of tell me what it's going to take to get back there and repeat this year.
Yeah, the WRC is a very challenging conference, and so to be able to repeat what we did last year, I think is going to take consistency on a daily basis. So what we're doing in practice, so it's not just about game nights, but it's about what we're doing in practice, the reps we're putting in, and can we be consistent on a daily basis. And we're not going to be our best every day we show up, but can we make it a little bit better the next day? If we have an off night, what's happening the next day in our gym to get ourselves back on target. I think the other big thing is, the details matter. So really big on the details this season from, from when we're setting up the gym, being timely on practice. All of those little details of our habits matter because our habits really shape how we function as a team. And then I think the third thing that's a piece of it, so it's about consistency, it's about the details of the habits, but then it's also about the relationships, and how we're treating each other. So relationships with ourselves, do we have the positive self-talk on and off the court, and relationships with each other, so how we're handling ourselves when a teammate's down, what we're doing to bring our teammates up and pull them along. So.
You talked about the relationship. You've been here for 6 years as the head coach. You're going into your 6th. Just kind of tell me what your relationship is with this year's senior class.
Yeah, this year's senior class, we have 7 seniors this year in our program, and they're a great group of girls. So they're really strong athletes, but like more than just being strong athletes, they're well-rounded individuals all around. And so definitely looking forward to seeing what these girls, what this class, I should say, is gonna do for Chardon Volleyball this season, because they have they're a really great group of girls because they have this really funny, quirky, fun side to them. But when it comes to the game of volleyball and when they step on that court, they have this mindset of they're out there to compete and they're out there to win. And so they have both sides to their personality, which makes it really, really fun. The downtime's fun, and then the on-court moments when we're really focused in are competitive.
What kind of mentality do you have drilled into the minds of your players for this season?
I guess what we're coming back to every day in the gym is respect, engage, and compete. And so those are the things we're working on. And so we're just really trying to drill in. We know that, it was a climb to get where we were at and to be able to take the WRC title last year, but we know it's not just going to be handed to us this season. And we've got to be willing to engage and compete every single day. So we try to just bring that mindset. Every drill we're doing, we're trying to compete. Sometimes we're not competing with the girl next to us, but we're competing with ourselves. Can we make the next 5 minutes of this drill better than the previous 5 minutes? So just trying to win the little moments to build in the consistency.
Thank you.